to another edition of Thunderdome!
Alright, so I just got done watching an advanced screening of this movie, Mad Max Fury Road. This doesn't come out till this weekend, and I've actually just started rewatching the rest of the trilogy to prepare for this film. But I had the chance to see a screening today, which I didn't think I'd be able to. So, yeah, I only saw the original Mad Max before seeing this. I've seen all of them. But anyways, that's a side note. This is easily the most anticipated movie that I had for the summer and for, a long time. I love all the Mad Max films. They're so unique and original and extremely well done, especially the Road Warrior. The second one is just a pinnacle of a post-apocalyptic film and everything it did. So I think this is easily one of the most anticipated films by a lot of people, especially for me, like I just mentioned. But people have really, really high expectations for this film, and all I had heard up until today was great things about it. So I came into this film just really hoping that it'd be as good as everybody had said it would be, and as good as I hoped it would be, and it exceeded that, which is insane because I had really high expectations, and it kind of blew them out of the water. This movie is amazing. This is again written and directed by George Miller, who did all the original Mad Max films. The last one, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, was done 30 years ago. So this is it's really interesting and really crazy that this is even happening. That a director could do a trilogy starting in 1979 through 85, becoming really iconic with Mel Gibson, and then 30 years later reboot the whole thing. And this is really interesting because this isn't just a remake at all. It's not like a straight up reboot. It's really interesting what they do with this and how they did it, and I love it because it's not retelling Max's origin story, which was the first film, and it's not really filling in certain parts that were missing between parts 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. It's just it's Mad Max, it's Max Rokitansky, and we get the sense that he has a similar backstory with his family, but this is just something else that's happening to him. It's kind of a side story, or maybe this is going to fill in with the rest of the universe. You don't really know. But the nice thing is that it can do that because of the way this franchise has worked, especially because the second 2 films, I don't know if a lot of people have seen all of them or have thought about it. I didn't really think about it very much originally until I kind of read something or heard something a while ago. But the first film is kind of half of a Mad Max's story, half of it's kind of his friend Goose's story, and then the other 2 films are told by other characters. So the Road Warrior, the second one, is told from the feral kid's point of view, and the third one is told from another kid's point of view, the ones that he saves in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. So that kind of creates a lot of space to do stuff with the storyline. You could say, this is actually what happened, because those films are being remembered by other characters. So that's cool. So I think that makes it really easy to change actors as well. And when they announced Tom Hardy as the new Mad Max, I think you couldn't have picked a better actor. He's awesome, and I think everybody's really happy with that choice. And he does it justice for sure. So this movie has also been kind of in production for a while. They're going to shoot it in New South Wales, where the Road Warrior was shot, but then they were going to shoot it there because it's always known for being really a lot of desert and dry, and it had got a bunch of rain and just made the landscape look completely wrong. So that was multiple years ago, and then they've been shooting in Namibia for this one for a while. And the story is following Mad Max and also kind of 50-50 with Imperator Furiosa, who is played by Charlize Theron. And she has stolen a bunch of women from the main villain is Immortan Joe, interestingly played by Hugh Keys Byrne, who played the original villain in the first Mad Max, Toe Cutter. The characters aren't related, but it's the same actor, which is kind of cool. So Furiosa, she steals these women from Immortan Joe, and the rest of the story is them trying to escape and pretty much what they're doing, getting away from Immortan Joe and where they're gonna go. It's pretty basic, very very basic storyline, but that doesn't mean the movie is simple. It is insane. This movie from the get go is just 100%, pedal to the metal, full on, insane. It's awesome. And I guess actually originally George Miller had written this film as just one giant chase scene in storyboard form. And it was like, I don't know, 3,700 storyboards outlining this whole chase. There is obviously a story to it. A couple other characters are Nux, who is played by Nicholas Hoult, and he's actually more of one of Immortan Joe's cronies, so kind of a bad guy. And I'm not going to get into all the details because I think it's kind of one of the interesting things about the film is figuring out how all the characters work together. Just a couple other actors though. Zoe Kravitz is in this. She's one of one of the women that is trying to escape with Furiosa, as well as Rosie Huntington-Whiteley and Riley Keough and a couple others. So not a huge cast of well-known actors and actresses, but a couple that people would know. So yeah, I don't know how much. I don't want to say too much more about the plot, but this has easily the best action slash car chases you'll ever see. I'll say that with no question or any doubts. This is the best chases you'll ever see in a movie ever. Maybe be beaten in the future. Be really really hard because what they do here is just insane and insanely good. I was watching this at the Alamo where I see most of my movies, and I'd ordered food, and they got me the food pretty much right as the movie started, and right off the bat, this movie is just, like I had mentioned, it just goes balls to the wall right at the beginning. And I just noticed myself and my buddy that I went with, we both noticed that I was just sitting there, I was just sitting there holding a hamburger, just like, my hamburger was not getting eaten because I didn't want to look down and miss anything. That's how good it was. I was like, do I eat this hamburger or do I watch this? I was watching the screen, just not taking my eyes off it. It was awesome. And I will easily see this at least one or two more times in the theater. I saw it in 3D. I didn't even know it was in 3D. I thought it was going to be in 2D, but whatever. The 3D is pretty good because it's really bright. I hate 3D, but I hate 3D when it's like dark scenes or at night. But a lot of this movie is very bright, so that it was okay. I'd also really like to see it in 2D though. And I'm going to see it multiple times because there is so much going on. There is an insane amount of detail into the costuming and the production design, and it's epic. I mean, the scale that they have shot this film at, the amount of like characters at a couple scenes, the chase scenes, and just the amount of people at the beginning. It's ridiculous, and it's awesome because there's so much detail in everybody's costumes. You're just kind of looking to see like what everybody's wearing, all their different types of people that are in this world. It's awesome. So yeah, there's a lot to look at, a lot to kind of parse out. I think it's going to make repeat viewings just even that much better. And even though the story seems simple from like how I mentioned it, there's actually quite a bit going on. I kind of undersold some of the character developments. I think there's a lot more going on there than I initially may have hinted at. But I just don't want to give any of that away because I'm gonna really, really encourage everybody to see this and just watch it for yourself. So this is getting a 5 out of 5 for me. I think this is a perfect movie. This is the most intense, insane action scenes you'll ever see. It was done perfectly. This is an awesome movie. Yeah, so I would recommend going to see it in the theater as many times as you can, just because The cinematography is amazing. It's beautiful. It's just it's a big film. This is gonna be like a perfect summer blockbuster movie. And if you don't see this in the theater at least once, I think you'll be regretting it if you just see it later on your TV or something. So, man, you have an expectation for a movie that you really hope is going to be good, and then to go to it and just see that it is even better, and it's incredible. It's just a weird feeling to see a movie that is so good. And me and my friends we got out of it and were just like, wow, that is insane. Well done. And then I just saw that Tom Hardy had agreed to sign on to like 3 more, so that's fingers crossed that they can keep this up, do it again. Yeah, so see this movie. I guarantee you will not be bored, that's for sure. So yeah, I guess to sign off I'll say what a lovely day.